Do I really need to give pet supplement?
Okay, so this is a very grey area.
Basically, Googling something usually results in cancer. Recognizing what different shades of poop actually mean.
You need to have a check for metabolic diseases.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Ask the Super Vet, the series dedicated to making your pet parenting life a little bit easier. My name is Talal, starts with a T and not with a D, and I'll be your host today. I've recently become a pet parent, and what I thought would be sunshine and rainbows and getting a cuddle buddy at night actually turned out to having sleepless nights. And second, recognizing what different shades of poop actually mean, right? But in seriousness, it's been very wholesome and I've been having a great time. But it definitely is no walk in the park right now. That is why we are here. We are here to understand and help everyone get pet parenting right. And for that, we actually have our in-house vet expert with us, Dr. Neha. Hi, Doc. Tell us about yourself.
So hi, I'm Dr. Neha and I'm working in Supertails. My specialization and my field of interest is in alternative medicines.
Yeah.
I'm a graduate from Pondicherry Veterinary College and I'm here to help you guys out today. So shoot any questions that you have.
Doc, we're here because we have a few questions, as you said. And basically Googling something usually results in cancer being the most optimal result. So we are here to fix that, right?
Definitely.
Perfect. All right, let's take it forward. Our first question is from Manali. Manali is the pet parent of a 2-year-old pug. And she has, I think, probably the question everyone wants to ask. He is always hungry.
Okay.
Basically, she is not describing me, by the way. It is her pug. How many times in a day should I feed him?
Okay. So for an adult dog, so a 2-year-old pug is definitely an adult. 2 meals a day is more than enough. This can be in the form of breakfast and dinner. The amount of food you give, the easiest way you calculate it is as 3% their body weight. So let's say your pug weighs around 12 kgs, 360 grams of food is more than enough. And the way to incorporate all the nutrients in the diet is 20% carbohydrates, 30 to 40% proteins, and the rest of it as fibers. And still, if they're hungry, you can incorporate some amounts of treats in the form of like frozen vegetables or fruits because they again contain fiber, right? So that is the easiest way to make sure that they are not hungry all the time and they're getting the proper nutrition they require.
Understood. Right. So get your calculators out, lagalo percentages against the weight, and it takes a little bit of work, but it's worth it. Up next we have Ria, and Ria keeps seeing she keeps seeing ads about pet supplements. Is what she's saying. Do I really need to give pet supplements? And if yes, how much?
Okay, so supplements are good. But if they're having a balanced diet, then it's not a necessity. In certain cases, yes, we definitely do recommend in like health conditions or when with age, they also do require supplements. If they're having a proper nutrition, it's not a necessity at all. So it's fine, right? But if they do require it, do get a recommendation from a veterinary doctor and then incorporate it into their diet. That's it.
So Dr. Neha out pitching herself to you as well, and thoda sa upselling bhi ho gaya yahan pe. Up next, we'll move on. We have Leo's pet parent, and a काफी simple question, Neha. She just wants to know, can I feed my dog chapatis?
Okay, so this is a very grey area. Okay. In a lot of senses, I've seen dogs being allergic to gluten. So we need to make sure that they are not allergic to gluten, right? So providing a little bit of chapati in the beginning, seeing if they're having any sort of like rashes or like hives in general. Right? Otherwise, it is a really good source of carbohydrates, so it's fine.
Up next, we have Aman. And Aman is saying that I have a 3-year-old Labrador, right? He started to put on weight recently. What should the ideal weight be for a Labrador?
So the ideal weight for a purebred lab is 32 to 35 kgs. Okay. So labs tend to have a very unhealthy eating habit. They love to eat anything and everything they see. So they tend to gain weight very fast. But one other thing is that you need to have a check for metabolic diseases, right? So have a consult with a vet as well before you try and do any changes in their diet. If it is metabolic diseases, then we will have to incorporate some medications as well. But if it is not, then exercise does help a lot. Dietary management also helps a lot, right? But it's a great step that you're taking. You've already taken into consideration about their weight. Continue with a consult with a vet and then go ahead with the weight management.
Understood. Got it. Up next, we have Shreya and Sankalp. Right? They want to know about their beagle. Basically, they're saying our beagle does not eat his veggies. Right? He only likes chicken. I feel you, beagle. I think you are on the correct path, but I'm not a vet. She wants to know, is that okay? And she's worried about deficiencies and other problems creeping in.
Okay. So many of the beagles that I've seen are very fussy with their food. So it's not very uncommon that they do not eat their vegetables. Deficiencies, if they're having the proper nutrition, then it's not a problem. What you can do is try and sneakily incorporate it into their diet, the vegetables, what I mean, right? If they like chicken, then great. You would be boiling the chicken or cooking it in certain form to give it to your pet, right? What you can do is you can boil the vegetables along with the chicken and give it to him so that he would have the flavor of the chicken with the vegetables. Or you can just make it like chop it up, give it with the chicken, mash it up together and do that. So like sneakily adding it into the diet is the safest option. But still not eating the vegetables, then you might need to add some supplements, but that's only in the rare cases.
Understood. Got it. Up next, we have Sagnik. And Sagnik's basically having a Pro Max version of this previous question. Right? And what Sagnik is facing is that he says his dog is a picky eater. Right? He's just not denying vegetables, he's denying food in general. What can I do? Help me.
Okay, so picky eating is different for different dogs as well, right? So some picky eating, what I've seen is like they like food for 1 week, one type of food for 1 week, and then the next week they hate it, then you'll have to change it accordingly. So patience is a key in certain cases. Knowing your dog's preference is also a huge thing. If it is like you want to try and change the diet, then slowly incorporating the new diet to the old diet is what we would recommend, right? Like, so if you're saying you're giving one type of dog food and you want to change it to another type of dog food, give like 70% of the old dog food and 30% of the new dog food. Continue that for like 2 to 3 days, then make it like 50% old, 50% new. Okay, so slowly reducing the old dog food and introducing the new dog food, increasing it is what I would recommend. But also consult a vet to rule out that if there is any certain issues, right? Because some dogs would also be like, I want to eat only wet food, or like I want to eat soft food, I don't want to eat hard food. In certain cases, that is a symptom of some underlying condition. So also have a consult with a vet to see if there is any issue, and if there isn't, then hope these tips help.
All right. By the way, Sagnik, if it makes you feel any better, my pet Millie, she basically goes around eating litter all the time. So trust me, there are definitely some perks to being a picky eater, right? But that was a lot of valuable information, Doc. Don't you think so?
I'm happy to help any way I can, right? I mean, we just want to make their life better.
Definitely, definitely. If you have any further questions, please drop them down in the comment section below and our super vets will pick them up. Remember guys, a healthy pet is a happy pet. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Ask the Super Vet. Subscribe for more great content from us, and hopefully we'll see you next time.